Okay, good morning and welcome to a regular or a special meeting of the panel of utility commissioners and staff of the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority held today, Wednesday, September 7th, 2022 at 9 a.m. So again, we are here for a special meeting in this matter since we are holding it at 9 a.m. as opposed to our regular 10 a.m. So I appreciate everyone joining us for this special meeting time. We have a regular calendar and a consent calendar in front of us. Before we begin with we're going to turn to our regular calendar first. And the first item on today's regular calendar is docket number 130906, the application of Sunwave Gas and Power Connecticut, Inc. for an electric supplier license. So we are actually here this morning to consider a second notice of violation to be issued, or that was issued and subsequently appealed by Sunwave Gas and Power. So I am going to present the decision for the panel's consideration. So in this decision, the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, or PURA, finds that Sunwave Gas and Power Connecticut, also known as Sunwave, failed to comply with authority orders, and also they lack managerial and financial capability, which is a violation of Connecticut General Statute section 16-245 subsection C. Consequently, as a result of this finding, the authority is revoking Sunwave's license, fining Sunwave $1 million, and further, we are affirming Sunwave's obligation to pay restitution to customers. So by way of brief background, as I mentioned, this is the second notice of violation issued to Sunwave this year. It is a result of the fact that on June 30th of this year, the authority's Office of Education Outreach and Enforcement notified the authority that Sunwave had not demonstrated compliance with the authority's previous restitution order. Shortly thereafter, the authority issued this second notice of violation and assessment of civil penalty against Sunwave for noncompliance with authority orders and for the lack of managerial capability. The second NOV indicated that the authority was proposing to revoke the company's license and assessing a civil penalty of $1 million. At the request of Sunwave, the authority did conduct a hearing on August 18th, which was held before all commissioners of the authority. At the hearing, Sunwave presented direct testimony and exhibits and subsequently filed a letter in lieu of brief on September 1st. So in this decision, the authority analyzes the non-compliance by Sunwave with previous authority orders, most notably the second order of our June 8th, 2022 decision, which addresses the first notice of violation. In that decision, the authority directed Sunwave to no later than 20 days from the date of that decision, reimburse customers that had to be returned to standard service who were previously served by Sunwave on contracts with rates lower than the current standard service rate. The 20-day deadline to comply with that order was June 28th, 2022. And as of June 30th, Sunwave had not submitted any of the compliance that was so required. In the estimate of the authority's Office of Education Outreach and Enforcement, Sunwave should have provided restitution to more than 1,000 customers. The decision also details the lack of managerial and financial capability of Sunwave and considers a number of parameters that are required by the authority to consider when determining the appropriate sanctions for a violation. So as I stated at the outset, as a result, this decision, which I recommend to the panel, would impose, after finding that the authority's previous orders in the June 8th decision have been violated, and further that Sunwave has demonstrated a lack of managerial and financial capability. As a result, the authority fines Sunwave $1 million, continues its order for the Sunwave to pay restitution to its customers, and revokes Sunwave's license. So with that, I recommend the decision to the panel.
I move adoption, Madam Chairman.
Second.
Thank you. The decision's been regularly moved and seconded. If there are no questions or comments, I would ask Mr. Bumpin to take the roll, please.
Chairman Gillette,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Pekoski,
Yes.
Commissioner Karen,
yes,
Thank you. The decision has been adopted. With respect to docket number 220502, I would make a motion that we move the decision to the consent calendar for consideration as part of the consent calendar.
So moved, Madam Chairman.
second,
Thank you. Mr. Bumpin, let's take the roll on that motion, please.
Chairman Gillette,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Pekoski,
Yes.
Commissioner Karen,
yes,
Thank you. So we will consider docket number 220502 as part of today's consent calendar. So we'll turn to the third item on today's regular calendar, docket number 220720, the application of the United Illuminating Company for the approval of the issuance of debt. We'll turn to authority staff, Mr. Novello, to present today's decision for the panel's consideration.
Good morning, and thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Vice Chair and Commissioner Karen. On July 22nd, 2022, the United Illuminating Company filed an application pursuant to Connecticut General Statute 1643B, requesting approval from the authority to issue long-term debt in the aggregate amount not to exceed $50 million through December 31st, 2022. There is no requirement under this Connecticut General Statute 1643 for a hearing to be held, and no party requested a hearing in this matter. The authority examines the following financial issues and considerations when reviewing the proposed debt issuance under Connecticut Statute 1643B. 1, the interest rate of the proposed debt offering. 2, the effect of the company's financial flexibility, including impact on the company's weighted average cost of capital and, if applicable, its credit rating, the fees associated with the transaction, and the terms and conditions of the debt issuance. The company proposes to issue up to $50 million in long-term debt so that it may use the proceeds to fund a portion of the amount required to refinance up to $77 million of Series C and D notes that are maturing in 2022. The company's proposed parameters of the notes and interest rates are as follows. The company proposed that the authority approve a single transaction with a 10-year maturity from the date of issuance at a fixed interest rate of 4.62%, priced on June 22nd, 2022, and to be issued on December 15th, 2022. The authority analyzed the effect of the notes on the company's capital structure, cost of capital, and its credit rating. The proposed issuance decreases the company's weighted cost of debt by 14 basis points to 4.12% from 4.26%, resulting from the maturity of the $77 million of notes bearing a 6.26% coupon, offset by the addition of the Series M notes bearing a 4.62 coupon. The overall weighted cost of capital will remain the same at 6.52 post-issuance, and this is a result of a slight increase in the pro forma equity ratio offsetting the lower weighted average cost of debt. Based on the authority's review of the financial metrics, solvency ratios, and balance sheet effects, the authority finds that the proposed financing will have no effect on the company's financial flexibility as measured by its solvency and credit rating. Ensuring that the proposed financing does not negatively impact the company's credit rating and that it allows the company to maintain continued financial flexibility, as indicated by its ability to meet its debt coverage obligations, are important considerations when reviewing a proposed debt issuance by the authority. The company is presently rated A- by Standard & Poor's, BBB by Moody's, and A by Fitch. The company's credit rating is not expected to change because of this financing. Based upon authority review of the transaction, I recommend this decision to the panel for adoption.
Thank you, Mr. Novello. Is there a motion?
Move adoption, Madam Chairman.
second, Madam Chair.
Thank you. The decision has been regularly moved and seconded. If there are no questions or comments, I would ask Mr. Bumpin to please take the roll.
Chairman Gillette,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Pekoski,
Yes.
Commissioner Karen,
Yes,
Thank you. The decision has been adopted. So we will turn next to the consent calendar. There are now 9 items on today's consent calendar, so I'll seek a motion.
Madam Chairman, I moved today's consent calendar, all items 1 through 9.
I'll second it, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. The consent calendar has been regularly moved and seconded. I will ask Mr. Bumper to please take the roll.
Chairman Gillette,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Pekoski,
Yes.
Commissioner Karen,
Yes.
Thank you. The consent calendar has been adopted in full. With that, we have reached the end of today's regular meeting agenda. We will adjourn. We will reconvene next Wednesday, September 14th at our regular time of 10 a.m., also by remote teleconference. Thank you and have a great day.